Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest Brain or Shine webinar. We are now live. And if you haven't met us before, I am Mark and this is Jules, and we are creators of Brain or Shine. Brain or Shine, if you don't know us, we set this program up just to help people affected by brain injury. And it's not just people like myself with a brain injury, it's people like Jules who have to live with the people with brain injury. And most of what we talk about is about the hidden disabilities, because as many of you who know my story already know that I'm really fortunate that I don't have many physical side effects to a brain injury. You're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it is about the hidden disabilities.
Our sort of topic over this month really has been about your day-to-day challenges following a brain injury, just the simple things that, well, they're not very simple anymore, are they? Which causes problems. And we've put a few bits up on our social media about how different things have affected us and how we try and cope with it. And we're quite happy to talk about some of those, but it's not really about us totally. It's about you and how these things affect you. So we'd like you to, if you don't mind and you feel comfortable doing it, is to share with us some of the challenges that you face every day, just to be able to do simple things like, you know, doing shopping, and how you cope with doing that following your brain injury, whether you're the person with the brain injury or you're the carer. So that's what we're going to do for the next half an hour.
Yeah. Should we share our shopping journeys?
If you want to.
We might as well, yeah. So, I mean, I've never been a great fan of shopping anyway, and I don't think it's your most exciting thing, is it, either?
Well, it depends what I'm shopping for.
Yeah, shopping for clothes is different. But the weekly food shop can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. And the thing I find the most challenging about it is not the actual doing the shopping, it's the movement in the store. So if we go into a supermarket and it's really busy and there's lots of people going in different directions, I find that quite overstimulating. The lights also are really difficult, because the other day we were in a shop, weren't we? And all of a sudden you went, "Oh, are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah, the lights are just get really bright. They seem to just be shining in my face, whichever way I looked." Now, thankfully, we'd only popped in for a couple of things, so I was fine and managed to get through that. And then the last one, biggie, that I find really difficult in a shop is the noise of maybe the tannoy or the PA systems. So the other day we were in a really quiet supermarket, which was lovely, and they were playing some really nice sort of backgroundy type music. And then every 5 minutes, probably less, an advert would come on, and the advert was about 10 times louder than the songs. And I found that really overstimulating. So it's just little things like that. But we're talking about the grocery and the weekly shopping there. And I'm just going to flip onto online shopping, because the other day I was buying some stuff off of an online store. And what I found really difficult was I wanted a bag for my guitar. So simple thing, a guitar bag. So I put in guitar bag, which is great. And it probably gave me about 70,000 searches. Now, I knew that I didn't want to pay like £150 for one. I thought I will go for one that's around about £10 or £15. And the problem I had was I saw one that I really liked, but every time I kept scrolling down a bit further, exactly the same one came out, but it was different prices. And then there were some that were very similar that were different prices as well. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there thinking, which one do I buy? I've got 7 of them in the basket, or
Cart.
It's a cart, isn't it? They call it on there. And then I have to make a choice. And I'm just thinking, I just want a guitar bag. You know, I don't want 7. I don't want to pay different prices. But the price difference was between £5 and £35 for what seemed like the same thing. So a £30 difference. And I just couldn't work out what to buy. So Anne's just put in a sensory overload. That gave me sensory overload, just trying to shop online.
Yeah, you imagine that shopping online would be easier. And there are parts of it, particularly if you're grocery shopping, that you can add things into your favourite or put it onto your shopping list. So, I mean, we all have things that we buy each week. So that, I think, can make your food shopping slightly easier, but when you go online shopping for other things, they don't make it easier. I tried to buy some deodorant, believe it or not, a simple thing this week, did I not, online by a company. I won't mention them because I don't want to sort of badmouth them, but their online experience is very difficult. I've done it before, but I haven't done it for quite some time. And once I'd figured it out, after I don't know how many attempts at it and getting really, really frustrated, I managed to put the order in, but it really was very, very difficult.
And actually without a brain injury.
I know. Tinted glasses.
Yeah.
Anne says
Oh, that's
tinted
another.
glasses. I think that's a really good idea, actually.
Oh, noise reducing earplugs as well. Yeah, that's
Yes.
a really good idea.
Yeah, we've got some of those now, which you use for not so much for the shopping, but things like when you're at crowded places, or even sort of like airports or a bit of traveling or whatever. You pop them in, and they help to reduce that noise level, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Recently we were going on a trip back to the UK, and going through the airport in the UK was really, really noisy. And I remember just popping one of them in my right ear, because that's the side where I normally have the most issues of distraction. But it was sort of really strange, because I could hear out one ear and I couldn't hear out the other one. It was almost blocking it out too much, and it fell out.
I quite like that idea
They
of
do
tinted
work.
glasses, because they tend to be quite glarish, don't they, in the shops? And in the shopping mall here, some of the stores are okay, aren't they? But there's 2 or 3, and even for me, it's like really, really bright. But perhaps have your sunglasses on your head so you can flip them down.
Yeah,
That's a good tip.
yeah, that is very good. What Claire said there, she said, we use our local Lidl and the staff look out for me. And oh, how lovely. And she's been trained to be your assistance dog, which is great. That's fantastic, Claire, because again, sometimes there's that lack of understanding, isn't there, around us. And at the end of the day, these stores, they want to make money. They want to sell as many products as they possibly can. But I've heard that some places are becoming more sensory friendly, I think is the word. So it's mainly aimed at people with autism or ADHD or whatever. And of course, that's going to really, really help us with brain injury, because we suffer a lot of similar sort of traits as well. So yeah, that's fantastic to hear. Go Lidl. What else have we got on there as well? A couple of people from the States as well. Welcome. That's really nice to hear.
So I was just going through, traveling in the car as a passenger is tiring. So it is very tiring. I think we were talking about this the other day with somebody about how difficult that is. I think whether you're the one driving or the passenger, because there's so much going on, the roads are so busy. It's very, very tiring. Yeah,
and it is for both of us as well, because in recent years, Jules tends to do most of the driving, probably, I'd say more than 80%, possibly even more than that. I'll do some short journeys sometimes. I'll go, can I have a go in the car today? But you've done lots of longer journeys. And I remember a trip back to the UK last year where we pretty much drove from one end of the country to the other straight after a flight, and you had to do that driving in a very small car, didn't have a lot of power as well. It just seemed to take forever. And when we got there, you went, I am so tired. And I went, I didn't say it, but so am I. I just sat there in the car as well. But yeah, it is really, really difficult.
Yeah. And Anne's quite rightly saying the hidden disabilities are hard for other people, and they are very, very hard. And I think one of the things that I would love to be able to do is to educate some of the stores that we're talking about, particularly the big ones, the popular ones, on these sort of things, and maybe get them to look at their things like their lighting and the music, because it isn't just people with brain injury, but it would be nice if they could lessen that sensory overload.
I like Anne's there as well. She put pace in, or she likes to call it spacing, which is quite cool.
Yes.
So doing something for 10 minutes and resting, then carrying on with this, and just stopping if your body's had enough. And I'm really, really pleased you put that one on there, Anne, because that's just reminding me that I do very, very similar. I used to find it really frustrating if I was doing something simple and I couldn't do it, and I get frustrated and I just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Whereas now I just tend to pick it up and put it to one side. And I tell you, the thing that actually taught me that was, I mentioned earlier about playing the guitar. Now I've only been playing the guitar for just coming up for 2 years now. And when I first started it, my friend who was teaching me just said, just do 15 minutes a day. But if it's not working, just put it down to one side. And I thought, that makes sense. And there were some days where I'd pick it up and after about a minute, I'd be thinking, this is really frustrating. So I just put it down, put it to one side. And sometimes go back to it 10 minutes later and it'd work, or sometimes go back to an hour later, or sometimes go back to it the following day. Just replace the guitar with whatever the task is. Because most of the stuff we actually try and do doesn't have to be time sensitive. And this is where we've talked a little bit about this in previous podcasts and episodes about the planning is really, really important. So if you plan stuff in advance instead of leaving it till the last minute, then it really, really does help to sort of keep that flow going. And if you plan to do something on Monday morning, it just doesn't work on a Monday morning, then put it to one side and try it again in the afternoon. If it doesn't work, leave it till the next day. As long as there's no time deadline on it, it's really good, isn't it? So I like that. Pacing or spacing.
Yes. I think it's, let me just go back, there's quite a bit coming in.
Yeah,
I think Claire was just saying that they went to a wedding last week and it's took you best part of a week to get over it. I know we, a couple of weeks ago, came back from a trip back to the UK. And to be fair, it was a pretty stressful one. We knew it was going to be, but it was probably more stressful than we anticipated. And even though we knew that it was going to be, and you sort of try your best to prepare and get rested, when we got back, I think you're still struggling. You're still...
Yeah, it's been over 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So still not got over that level of stress, the travelling, and all of the things that came with it. So
yeah, that was really, really tough. And you were tired as well. Again, it's that thing of...
Well, it's the travelling, it's the driving. I did an awful lot of driving and stuff. So yeah, it is. So I think there's a little chat on here about the Headway cards. I think Claire's answered your question, Joan, that you get them direct from Headway. I think you go on the Headway website for their cards. So you can say you have that with you to say what hidden disabilities you have. A few seats in the supermarket would help, wouldn't it, just? Yeah. If you just need to sit down for a minute and gather yourself, definitely.
That's a really good shout. I've not thought about that before, because once you're in the supermarket, you're in there, aren't you? So once you've passed that first aisle and before the checkout,
put you in the trolley in one of the baby seats.
Yeah. Oh, can we do that next time?
No.
Do you know what? I actually find it easier pushing the trolley though, because I feel like I've got a defence between me. If Jules pushes the trolley, sometimes I find that movement more difficult. So I don't have a problem walking or anything like that physically, but I find that there's something in the way, so people will notice me more, I guess.
Yes.
So that does really work. But yeah, that's a really good shout, actually, having some chairs in there, because how does that work? I guess if you go into a supermarket in a wheelchair, people know that you're in a wheelchair, but if you're struggling to walk a little bit, or even the elderly and less mobile as well, even without brain injury, there's no provision for that at all, really, is there?
No.
I mean, in shopping centres, but not necessarily in the stores.
Not in the actual stores themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sue says that, you make a list of things. We do that in terms of what we need to do, whether it's planning for a webinar, maybe. But yes, having lists and being able to tick them off a little bit is really good. But you put it in a plastic pocket and use a dry white pen to cross out when you can.
I love that. Good. I love that idea. For those of you that do your to-do list, you ever put something on your to-do list that you've done just so you can cross it off? I love doing that. Just put it on the list and say, yep, done that one, cross it off.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And it's that whole remembering things as well, isn't it?
Yeah, too right, yeah.
And that's why we have found writing things down, even if it sounds like ridiculous because you think it's the simplest thing, and you think, oh, I won't forget that. And you will forget it. We will, you know, it does happen. So we try and make a note of every little thing that we need to do. And we just generally sort of try and look at that then each day and think, right, what do we want to do today? And funnily enough, this afternoon, I was going out to meet some friends for our monthly little lunch together, some ladies, which is delightful. And you asked me if there was anything specific that you needed to do while I was out. And at that point, I couldn't really think of anything. And I was trying to sort of decide what to wear and do my hair and makeup, all the girly sort of things. And then all of a sudden, you went, oh my goodness, I've got an appointment at 1 o'clock. And thankfully, we'd put it on the phone, because not only did we write it down, we put everything like that in the phone with the alarms. And you managed to get there in time, didn't you?
Yeah, nearly forgot the appointment.
I'd forgotten it as well. So.
And also, this webinar started at 5:30 UK time, and I had to ask Jules at 4:38, what time is the webinar again? It's always 5:30, but it just sometimes just won't stick in my mind.
Yeah, and I get that, and that can be frustrating. That you, like you just said about this, we do this once a month, and it's always at 5:30. But for some reason, sometimes you always ask me, what time is it?
Yeah,
it's the same one. But quite often we'll have things, and I will have to tell you, I don't know how many times before it lodges.
Yeah.
In the
or not.
Yes.
Sunflower lanyard, fantastic, Claire. Yeah, that's really good.
I don't think they're as widely used as they used to. When they first came out, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. But I did hear some, not horror stories, but where people that haven't got a hidden disability or any disability whatsoever were using them to jump queues and stuff, which is frustrating, because it's a great visual thing for somebody that doesn't look like they've any disability, because they are hidden. It's a great way of saying, look, I might need some help, because we have actually used it and had some really good help to get us through busy situations where Mark was really struggling to cope, and almost like the panic, the anxiety was really fierce.
And that's the same as what Noelle said about the Asphasia card. We've obviously mentioned the Headway card, which you can get from the Headway website in the UK. So all sorts of things like that I think are really, really good. I mean, obviously Jules is just saying there's been a bit of bad press where people will abuse things, unfortunately. But I think if you wear it and you have the card, it's a safety net. I haven't really used my Headway card as much as I need to, but there's been times where it's actually worked better for me with friends. And the thing I find as well is we have this famous saying where people say, yeah, it's all right, I get tired too, or yeah, I get, my memory goes, or it's your age, and all these sorts of things. We get all those cliches. But sometimes in a conversation, I have actually shown people my brain injury card, and I've seen them go, oh, they're sort of taken back a little bit, because all of a sudden they realise that that's a disability card and there's hidden disabilities attached to this. And it's not something I don't think they think I'm making it up, but it's not something that I'm just using as an excuse, or it's that thing where maybe the next time that I start yawning when I'm talking to them, or if I go and sit in a corner and be a little bit quieter, or if I don't engage with them so much, then I think they realise that because I've shown them that card, it's helped. So it hasn't been so much in public places, but it's been that sort of thing of, oh, have a little look at this, and people have taken it a little bit more seriously. And I don't think I haven't, as I say, I don't want to knock any of my friends and say they haven't taken it seriously, but I think when they see that, they look there and it's like, that's a reality. That's very
Although it's not so long ago that somebody actually saw that and we explained it. Well, he looks all right, is what she said. And I thought, I'll give up with you.
Yeah, I give up. But that's okay.
But Claire's put on it, her husband has tagged her lanyards, which have my bank card and Headway card in, because you've lost them and now you can find them.
Oh, yes.
Ah.
This is brilliant. Yeah.
And you can press it and it sends him an emergency message to contact me. That is brilliant.
Yeah. Some friends were actually talking about Apple tags, and you can get ones for Android phones as well, where they tag their keys. And I thought we must look into this. I'm going to write that down now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put key tag, because you'll remember what that means later if I forget. But yeah, they were saying that if they lose their keys, they can go onto an app and it will detect where their keys are. Now, obviously, if you've left them somewhere in the house, it's going to show that they're in the house, but at least you know the keys are in the house and not somewhere down the high street or something like that. So that's good. And that's a lovely thing to read, Claire. It says it gives you confidence. And sometimes it's not about the outcome, it's about how it makes you feel, isn't it? And if wearing a lanyard or having all those things tagged or having everything in one place or having a list, whatever it is, if it gives you that confidence, then I think that's worth its weight in whatever gold.
Sue's put that she meal plans ahead. I do that, yeah. And you rotate the menus, yes, to save you thinking too much about it. Do you know, that's a brilliant thing to do. I like doing batch cooking, as they call. So you, whatever you cook, you perhaps cook twice as much. So you freeze half of it, and so you've got it there. So you kind of like ahead of yourself a little bit. So yeah.
Sometimes as well, if you batch cook twice as much, I eat twice as much.
Yeah.
I go back for seconds.
Oh, you can tag yourself too. Yes.
I love that, yeah.
Do you know, we do that. Well, what I do is with the phone, because 99% of the time, Mark will have his phone with him. And a lot of the time we do things together, but sometimes he will go off and do certain things. And if he loses track of time, which is something that he does quite often, it's quite, you know, he just has no comprehension sometimes. And I get scared if he doesn't get back at the time when he's supposed to, because it really freaked me from the accident. That was the biggest thing of, he'd been gone for some time and then our whole world changed. But what I do is tag him on his phone and I can see where he is, whether he's moving, whether he's on his way back or what he's doing. So it gives me confidence, Claire. So I do get it.
Yeah, tagging yourself. That's a really good idea. I like that.
You're tagged.
I'm tagged. I am tagged. But no, that is a really good thing. We did that a few years ago to try and prevent losing our phones, and then realised it was actually quite a good tool to use for that peace of mind. So yeah, it's really good.
Can I just go back to somebody, I think it was Claire, you said you went away, or somebody said that they went away. Did you do the driving, or did you share the driving? How does driving feel for you guys? Because it is obviously something that can be quite debilitating.
Yeah, that'd be really useful to hear about. Yeah, because certainly something that we find difficult, isn't it? I'm going to go back onto the recipes and food preparation as well. And again, this is a recent story. So the other week I was making a smoothie. Now I make smoothies all the time, and they normally include about 3 ingredients, like bananas and, I don't know, papaya, soya milk or something. I can even remember the ingredients, and some raspberries. And it just took me forever to make this smoothie. I remember standing there thinking, I really fancy this smoothie, but why 10 minutes later am I still making it? I just have no idea where that bit of time went from starting it to finishing it. And he was actually really surprised. He went, "Where's my smoothie?" So yeah, sometimes things like that do mix up, and I have no idea because I don't remember feeling really fatigued about it or thinking, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm really frustrated." All of a sudden, it was just, "Oh, that's taken 10 minutes, and it normally takes 2."
Oh, Claire, you were a passenger because it's too tiring. Okay, yeah. You can't drive. Okay. Sue says you end up doing too much, then constantly having energy crashes. Yes, it's too tiring. It is. I mean, it's tiring for me, so I can only try and imagine how tiring it is for you guys. Oh, Joan says it's getting easier, which is nice. You go out and practice every day.
Oh, wow. Nice one. Yeah, that's really good. And Claire says she's drives locally now,
Yes.
not driven since the wedding because don't feel safe.
Yes.
And the key word there is safe as well, which is really good, because I remember in the early days as a freelance school speaker doing some horrendous journeys that we probably shouldn't have been doing, whether we were brain injured or not. And I remember one week getting home and just thinking, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
And I vowed to change it, didn't I? I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to get on the train, because it just didn't feel safe.
And often if we're going out, even if it is just like a little local journey, I will look at Mark and I'll assess him. It's almost like a quick risk assessment.
Risk assessment.
It is. Like, and I just say, right, I'll grab the keys, I'll drive.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather feel that we're both safe. You know, I like Mark to drive, and I like the fact that he has the confidence here on the island, because the traffic's slower.
Yeah.
There's less of it. So he feels more confident to drive. But
Definitely.
even there are times when he's very fatigued, and I won't let him.
I'm not allowed. Take the keys off me. Anne's also put on there about the boom and bust cycle. And funny enough, we're just creating a fatigue hub, which we'll come to a little bit later and tell you more about. And I was talking about the about the boom and bust cycle in that, where it was a big change in, a game changer for me, because I felt that I was pushing myself on really good days, or pushing myself when I felt really good, and then boom and bust came in. So I'd sort of crash. And I think that's really key with a lot of these things here. We talk about energy saving devices like batch cooking, being a passenger in the car, taking time, planning things ahead, planning our rest breaks in and everything like that. So that's really, really good.
But yeah, Mark alluded to a fatigue hub that we're hoping to launch next month. And I think some of you, I'm not sure, have been involved in a bit of a conversation that I started on the peer-to-peer Facebook group. So we're really keen to get that going, to help people that are suffering or with the fatigue to fully understand what it is, and also work on some strategies to help you to cope with the dreaded F word, because, you know, every day it's there. It doesn't go. You may try and plan and get some rest to enable you to know that you're going to have a busy day. But even once you've had that busy day, the fatigue comes in, and it's constantly there. And it becomes the bane of your life, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got up this morning, drove 20 minutes up the road. We're lucky enough to have a nice game of paddle. We're lucky enough to have the ability to be able to do that. But as soon as we finished, and literally it's almost like picking Mark up, bundling him in the car, and he was exhausted, you know, just yawning all the way home and just completely wiped, because it's not just the physical, it's the mental part of that. You know, you played really, really well, but it's draining. But he's doing something that he enjoys, which is good for him. So I'm quite happy to live with and experience the fatigue afterwards. But there's quite a few things that we're going to have out there. We're going to do some webinars, like a little program on understanding it. And it's not just for the person with the brain injury, it's for the families and their friends to come along as well and get that real deep understanding.
Absolutely. I'm just seeing a comment on there where Joan said about breaking her journey up into smaller pieces. And that again is something that has been real key for us, is to break things down, whether it's a driving or whether it's a task or whatever it is. We break it down into manageable chunks. And we actually put something about the 3-step rule. I remember saying this and joking about it a few years ago. I said, if something's got more than 3 steps, I'm not doing it anymore. And it was a joke with our fellow director, Sally, who some of you have met on previous webinars. Actually, we need to get Sally back on a webinar.
She's been so busy, bless her.
Yeah, she's been so busy. And I remember we got this tax form to fill in, and I looked at it and Sally went, do you want me to do that? I went, yeah, it's got 25 pages. And I said, that's more than 3, so I'm not doing it. So I came up with this rule. I said, if the form's got 3 pages on, I'll look at it. I'm not saying I'll do it, but I'll look at it. And that became my 3-step rule. So if something's got more than 3 steps, I'll either break it down into bite-sized chunks or give it to somebody else to do. So yeah, try that one.
So yeah, Anne says about joining the peer support group. It's on Facebook. It's called Brain or Shine.
If you go to brainorshine.com, you can find the link for it.
Oh, right, okay, that was, I'm going to say. Yeah, if you go onto our website, Mark was just explaining, it will tell you the link.
Yeah, or go to Brain or Shine peer-to-peer support group. It's
on Facebook, and it's a private group for people affected by brain injury.
Yeah, and Anne says on there, just saying on there, very sadly, that you have horrendous fatigue and it controls your life. And again, I really hope we can help with some stuff, Anne, because it controlled my life for quite some time as well. Now it just rears its head in my life very, very frequently throughout the day, but I try not to let it control me. And I'll be honest with you, it's very frustrating sometimes, especially when you want to do something or you've got something planned. And the next thing is you'll find it really, really difficult to function because fatigue's kicked in. But I'll do absolutely everything I can to try and manage that. And obviously, that's not just me, that's Jules as well. You will advise me sometimes to go and rest, and I'll say, no, I think I'm all right. No, go and rest. And as soon as Jules says that, 99 times out of 100, I'm going to listen. I'm going to think, yeah, I'm going to go and rest now. So we will look at some strategies on that a little bit more in depth as well.
Yes.
Professor Claire says she feels 104, sometimes she's only 54. It is really tough. Honestly, I wouldn't ever imagined what fatigue felt like until I started suffering from it. I thought it would be just something that you could just sleep off and feel fine the next day. And I'm talking to you guys who know about it if you've got brain injury, because it is just something else.
But nobody actually tells you that you're going to suffer with fatigue. Or even if they do say, oh, you might feel a bit fatigued. In the early days, you probably just think, oh, well, okay. They said I could feel fatigued, so that's why I feel a bit tired. But fatigue and tired are 2 different things, and they don't really sort of explain that. And I think that's where the difficulty really starts to begin to happen, because you don't understand it. So how can anybody else around you understand it if you know? So we hope to be able to help people navigate your way through fatigue, as you used to call it.
Yeah. When I was a child, I thought it was called fatigue, but there you go. That's another story.
It is like jet lag.
Yes, 24/7 jet lag. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is. It is horrendous, isn't it? Yeah. And do you know what? Bizarrely, I've had jet lag, and I've found that a lot easier than fatigue. Yeah. It's not good, but it goes away very quick. But anyway, we've been 35 minutes now, as we promised.
Can I just reply to what Anne says? Her arm shakes, and that's your tell. Yeah, people do have Mark's eyes tell me. I know exactly where he is. Yeah.
Yeah, you notice that straight away. And funnily enough, I've never seen my eye do what you explain it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently when my eyes drop a little bit. I know myself because I start yawning as well. And my eyes water.
Yes.
Quite a bit. So that's definitely a telltale sign for me. Yeah. But thank you everybody for joining us again. As we promised, it was around about 35 minutes. We don't want to keep you any longer because
we don't want to fatigue
I appreciate how fatigue is, and I get fatigued too, of course. So we will be online on our Facebook peer-to-peer support group. Please join that if you haven't already. And please put some tips on there. We've been a little bit quiet on there lately, and that's us too as well. We have been a little bit quiet, so we want to get that momentum built up on that group. We also have our regular webinars, so you can register for the next ones on brainorshine.com. We have a podcast, which goes live every 2 weeks. And we also have a blog, so you can read, watch and listen. There's lots of different
one is your
ways of taking it on board. Absolutely.
Way of taking it on board.
Don't do them all though.
No.
That will cause far too much fatigue. But yeah, pick which ones work for you. And the other thing to ask you guys as well is if you know anybody else within the brain injury community, so somebody within your Headway group or whatever your groups, community groups are, get them on board, get them to come along and join as well if we can help them. And that also goes for family, friends, neighbours, people at work, anybody else that you think doesn't understand or could benefit from this, or we could help, please send them our way and we'll do our absolute best.
We will indeed.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining, and we wish you a very nice rest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care and we shall see you soon. Thanks
Bye-bye
for joining.
now. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for the lovely comments as well.